Hi everyone, welcome to another crochet tutorial with me, Laura, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this zigzag lacy stitch. So I've made this little swatch here in two different shades so you can see the stitch really standing out, and it kind of looks like little leaves as well, like a foliage stitch, but this will be perfect for more summery projects. It's very lacy and it's got a lovely drape. But for this tutorial I'm going to be swapping it in for some baby blue yarn. So I happen to be using a DK light worsted weight yarn, but you can use any yarn that you like for this stitch, and with that I'm using a 3.5mm E4 crochet hook. So for this pattern, for this design, we work to units of 3, so 3 times table, and then once you've got the length that you want, you add 4 at the end, so units of 3 plus 4. So we're going to start off with our slip knot and work to 3 times table to begin with. So we're going to chain 1, 2 and 3, so that's our first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and so on and so forth. So I'm going to stop there just for this little sample swatch, but you can just keep working to the 3 times table until you get the length that you need. Then once you're happy with the length, we add 4 at the end, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so you add 4 chains. Then what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over and we're going to do a double crochet in our 4th chain from our hook. So this pattern's in US terminology, so in UK terminology that's going to be a treble. So we don't count the loop on a hook. There's our 1st chain, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So in that 4th one we're going to work a double crochet. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over again and we're going to go into the gap between those chains and that double crochet. So the gap in between, we're going to put our hook in there, then bring the yarn through and then just wrapping it around that double crochet post like a front post stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops only, as if doing another double crochet. But before we finish that double crochet we're going to chain 2. So we're going to yarn over and just pull through that first loop once, then do another chain just for that 1 loop, and then finish your double crochet by yarning over, pulling through both loops. You get this nice curve happening here. We're just going to repeat that, but what we're going to do is we're going to skip 2 chains. Now that chain's been worked in there, so we skip the next chain, skip the next chain, so skip 2, then in the 3rd chain, the next one, we're going to yarn over, go into there and do another double crochet. And then we do the same thing again. So this gap in between here, this triangle shaped gap, I'm going to put our hook into there, grab the yarn, then wrapping it around the double crochet again. We do the same thing. We yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then we chain 2, so just for that first loop only, 1 and 2, then yarn over, pull through both loops to finish that double crochet. And repeat that all the way along. So skip 2, 1 and 2, next stitch, do a double crochet, then find the gap in between, just go to the right hand side of that double crochet, bring the yarn round, wrapping it around the double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 2, 1 and 2, yarn over, pull through both loops to finish. Do that all the way across. So chain, skip 1, skip 2, in the next stitch do a double crochet, then go to the right hand side in that big gap, yarn over, pull through 2 loops only, stop, then chain 2, 1 and 2, pull through both loops. Then when you get to the end you should have 3 chains left, so we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and then the very last chain we're just going to do a double crochet, so just finish on a double crochet. Okay, like that. And for my little swatch I got 4 of these little clumps going in one direction. Then moving on to the next row, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work. If you're using a much thicker yarn you may only want to chain 2 so you don't get too much length on your chains. Then we yarn over, and what we're going to do is we're going to ignore the stitches at the top. We're going to find this big triangle shaped gap right below, and in there we're going to put our hook in that big gap, and do a double crochet. Then we're going to do the same thing again. We yarn over, find the gap between the chains and the double crochet, and go in there, bring the yarn in, wrapping it around, do the same thing again. We yarn over, pull through 2, then chain 2, 1 and 2, don't make a mess like me, and then yarn over, pull through both loops to finish. And then what we're going to do is the same thing again, find the next big triangle gap, the next one along. It seems quite far over, but it all neatens out. And do a double crochet in there, and again find the gap to the right, this big triangle shaped gap here, put your hook in there, wrapping it round the double crochet, we pull through 2, chain 2, 1 and 2, pull through both loops, and to repeat that all the way across. Find the next gap, do a double crochet, then find the gap to the right, the double crochet, pull through 2, then chain 2, and finish up double crochet, pull through both loops. Okay, next gap, double crochet, chain 2, and finish that stitch. Then when you get to the end, you're going to find the gap in between these chains and this last clump of stitches. So find that gap there, put your hook into there and just do a double crochet. So we always end on just a double crochet. And there we go, that's our second row. And it's this second row that we're going to repeat over and over again. So the next row will be exactly the same. We chain 3, turn your work, find the triangle gap, big gap below, do a double crochet in there, then we find the gap in between those chains and the double crochet, put your hook in there, wrapping the yarn around the double crochet, pull through 2, chain 2, then pull through both loops to finish, and do that all the way across again. So next triangle gap, do a double crochet, find the gap to the right, and just do the same thing. It's a nice easy stitch. Once you sort of get into the flow of it, it's quite easy to remember. It's just one row to remember. Once you pass the foundation row, it's just the same. And this is a nice summery stitch it's got a nice lacy drape to it, so it'd be really good for clothes like vests and even baby clothes. Quite a cute little stitch, if I say so myself. I wanted to design a lacy stitch that had a kind of contemporary feel, the little zigzags. You can experiment using different colours on every other row, so if you change on every other row, your yarn will always be at the right end. And then when you get to the end, you find the gap in between the chains and this last clump of stitches, and in there do a double crochet. And there we go, there is another row finishing. Start seeing the zigzag coming together. So like I said here, if you want to change colours, I recommend changing on every other row. So there's 2 rows in green here, going backwards and forwards. So your yarn ends are always this end. You can carry the yarn up, or you can cut them and sew them in, it's up to you. But there we go, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Hope you managed to follow along. My camera wants to focus. And join me again for some more crochet tutorials soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to, if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.